Hey guys, it's Mitch here. Welcome back to my channel. This is the chaos in my little growing area right now. So many plants. These are all getting repotted, or I just moved them inside for the winter. They are everywhere, but they look good. I'm gonna do a little video on my Pleione maculatas, but these are my Pleione praecox, which have been blooming for about a month now. In fact, these are the first blooms that came into flower about a month ago, so they've lasted about a month. And now all the new buds that were just little buds a month ago are coming into flower, so looks like I'm gonna get a good 2-month show out of these pots. I'm really happy that I bought so many of these bulbs because I did end up getting a whole bunch of different color varieties and forms of this species. Like, see how these ones have like these droopy petals, nice color. This one I think is my favorite right now because it doesn't have any yellow in the throat, and it's the only one that's like that, so that one's pretty special. This one's a beauty just because that's like the perfect size and shape of flower. But there's so many of them and they smell really great every morning, especially when the sun is out. These ones have a nice droopy pink petal and they have like some brown splotches in the lip. This one is a little bit more orangey, and there was one in there that was just pure pink, and you can see only I think 3 or 4 of the bulbs flowered, so quite a few of these didn't flower this year. So there is a good chance that there will be other colors and shapes of blooms. Anyway, quite pretty. The other thing I noticed, actually, because I moved all of my plants out from under the lights this year and grew them outside, including my Phalaenopsis orchids, and they're in spike. Like, look at this one. They really liked that. So I'm kind of backing away from growing things under lights year round right now. It seems like they really like going outside for the summer. So I'm gonna try that. This is my Paphiopedilum honey blooming for the first time. Really nice color on this bloom. But yeah, this video is about my Pleione maculata. So these ones, it's my first summer growing these outside in a few years. I actually was growing these exclusively under my lights, and then last year, because I had a bad infestation of scale on these 2 pots, and I lost a lot of my bulbs, and they didn't really mature as nicely as they could have, so I had to treat them and then replant them, and then I just kept them in a windowsill instead of putting them back in my grow area so I could keep a close eye on them. And then I did end up growing them all outside for the summer, and I wasn't sure how that would go because I did grow them quite warm under my lights, but as you can see, there's all these little flower buds popping up here, so that's a good sign that they did like it. And these are huge, so yeah, they did seem to like growing outside. One thing I noticed that they did when they were outside that they didn't do inside is they grew all these little bulbs on top of pseudo bulbs, which I haven't seen before. This one is so big and fat it fell over. And this one too, see how it's not even in the soil, it just kind of grew on top. And some of them, because I wasn't very good with my watering, like there's 3 little growths that were actually on top of one of these little bulbs in the middle. It didn't mature because they didn't get enough water, so they just dried up. So that's really interesting, but I mean, getting some blooms, that's the most important part. So these are going to come into flower probably in the next few weeks. It would be nice if they flowered right after my Pleione praecox stopped blooming, because then I'll have room on my windowsill. But these are all the ones that I treated for that scale last year, and it looks like they all survived and they put on some good weight, and hopefully next year they'll grow nicely and flower for me. There's one pot that still has scale. Thankfully I didn't grow them too close together so it didn't infest my other plants, but I do have to treat that one. So anyway, this time of year I just kind of, it looks really wet right now because I did just water them, but I do let them dry out really well in between waterings. So I only water them once every 2 to 3 weeks. And actually now that they're not under my lights, and this growing area is a little bit cooler than my growing area, I will water them once every 3 weeks probably, depending on how they're looking. You can kind of tell when to water because you can see they have nice new roots coming out. These ones haven't started growing yet, and actually I'll probably pull these loose ones out. See how it's sitting on the top of the pseudobulb, and I'll repot them in another pot. Anyway, these are really pretty. I'll post an update when they come into flower. If you want to check out my other Pleione maculata videos from when I was growing them under my lights, I'll tag them in the video down below. And yeah, that's about it for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment down below. Oh, and thanks very much for helping me reach 500 subscribers. That's such a big number. I never thought of, well, I kind of hoped people would be interested in my videos, but it's nice that 500 people are interested in my videos. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment down below. Check out my Instagram if you want to see some flower pictures, mostly orchids. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.